the 2K Sports pregame show.
This is 2K Sports. I'm Ernie Johnson. Welcome to the NBA. We're joined by the legends Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Tonight, it'll be the Sacramento Kings up against the Washington Wizards at Verizon Center. And looking at Washington, they've definitely been generating momentum. They have been a team on a mission this season. Best record in the NBA. We're getting deep into the schedule now, and they continue playing dominant basketball. Hey, we'll be keeping an eye on Andre Drummond tonight. 9th overall pick back in 2012 out of UConn. Shaq, he's still a very young big with a lot of room to grow.
He's an incredible offensive and defensive rebounder, Ernie. One of the hardest box-out assignments in the league since Dennis Rodman.
It's a road game for the Kings, and they're facing an interconference matchup in today's game. There's no better time of year than the holidays for NBA basketball on 2K Sports. Welcome, everyone. I'm Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony and Doris Burke reporting from the sidelines. And the Wizards on friendly ground as they continue this homestand. What a story right now for these guys. Win after win. It's been a phenomenal stretch.
And seeing where Washington is, they have hit the ground running this year. The work they did in the offseason has paid huge dividends right away.
Sure it has. I mean, they came out of the preseason with a real air of confidence. There may not have been many outsiders who believed in them, but now plenty of people do.
Now Sacramento starting 5. Monroe is out there with Richmond. Then it's Worthy. Then there's Nowitzki. And it's Drummond in at the 5, home in the paint. Out of bounds, Washington takes possession.
Wizards ball.
And guys, one thing that was obvious to me, last year the Wizards really matured as a team. I mean, they played as if they expected to win instead of a group kind of coming into their own. I thought they just showed a lot more composure and maturity on the court.
Washington on D. They defeated Charlotte in their last game.
And we've talked about how in the NBA you've got to earn your points the hard way, and that really wasn't the case in that game for them.
No, there was no hard way about it. I mean, they got their points easily on dunks and layups against a defense that really didn't offer much of a fight.
Now here's Nash. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against Charlotte.
The defense better not make a habit of giving him that shot. I mean, he doesn't miss many of them.
And Monroe kicks to Drummond. That's good.
Oh, that is just weak defense there. I'm pretty sure that was not the plan to give him those kind of baskets at the hoop.
Anderson dishes to Millsap. Left side Wilkins. And stolen by Drummond. Fast break. Here we go. Nowitzki gets a wide open look. No good from outside. Wizards have gone 1 of 3 for the field to start this one so far. It's Anderson with the drive. Nash outside. The dish to Millsap. Rebound by Monroe.
There was just enough defensive pressure to get him off balance and cause that shot to go awry.
Here's Howard. The shot is off. Some solid D from Nowitzki.
They've had a cold start so far. Just 1 of 5 from the floor here early.
Dishes it to Richmond. Nowitzki a screen. Lets the 3 fly. Richmond no good.
And he made sure not to just draw the foul. That was good defense out on the perimeter.
Very good. He's a thinking man's defender. Knows how to bother even the best shooters without being overly aggressive.
And he isn't the biggest body at 6'8", Clark, but Paul Millsap very effective.
And part of his being underrated and underestimated, I think, is due to that size. But folks are finally starting to come around. That kind of production he's put up will make that happen.
And the first one drops.
And Millsap with over a 7-foot wingspan and also just a great nose for the ball. He gets you rebounds, blocks, and he leads all power forwards in steals pretty much every season.
Good on both.
And speaking of Millsap's defense, I mean, he can switch out and cover perimeter players as well. His smaller stature gives him that versatility, but then the long wingspan allows him to still bang with the biggies.
Now here's Worthy. Looking at his point production, he averages almost 11 points a game. 5 on the clock. That's in, and he found his range with that one. Now 1 for 2.
The D on him has to be airtight, guys. You got to get into his airspace, and that was far from it.
Outside Wilkins. And it's sent back by Drummond. Millsap's against Richmond. Monroe outside. Feeds it to Nowitzki. Goes up to the stripe. Again, Sacramento.
I don't know. Maybe they're still working out the kinks on D because that clearly was a breakdown.
Nash against Monroe. Nash, the pass to Millsap. That's good. Millsap's got his second basket of the night.
And a really good way to start the game. He's a guy who, if he gets it going early, he's going to give you problems.
Nowitzki against Millsap. And he gets the bucket. Nowitzki's got his second bucket of the game to go.
I like the recognition of the mismatch there, immediately making the defense pay.
To the inside. It's tipped and stolen by Nowitzki. And here is Monroe. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against Toronto.
And he also was a table setter in that game, Kevin. Just an amazing job with his passing. Just a joy to watch that one.
Clock at 6. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Andre Drummond is a big guy. At the NBA Draft Combine, he measured 7 feet tall with a 7'7" wingspan. And he tipped the scales at 280 pounds. That's a super heavyweight, my friends.
The Kings shooting their first shots of the night from the charity stripe.
Really hasn't come together for them as a group in terms of free throw shooting, just around 70% on the season.
Guys, we haven't seen the type of numbers out of them at the line that we'd come to expect, especially after last season.
No good on the second free throw. And on the topic of Andre Drummond, Greg, there are a few guys in the league who combine his kind of size with the type of athleticism he possesses. Fast up and down the court, quick off his feet, even sports a little hang time. I mean, the guy's got a full package athletic.
You talked about the raw physical tools. Then you factor in the two things as a big that I really value: great hands and quick feet. And he's got that going for him. So you can't go through him, you can't go around him, and you certainly can't go over him. I mean, what's left?
We can only hope to contain him, as they say. For Washington, they've gotten 3 of 8 shots to fall for them here in the first quarter. Shot left block, and it's Anderson that time on the assist by Howell.
And his presence as a scorer, it just has a calming effect for the rest of the team. He's a fallback option whenever they need one.
Richmond gets that one to fall after missing his first 2. 1 for 3 from the field.
Love the assist. I mean, he knew exactly where that bounce pass had to be to create that opportunity.
And that one's good. Millsap.
And that's another assist for a team that is putting on a clinic on how to share the ball.
And I love the mentality that they've had. If a shot isn't there, they're not forcing it. They're moving it side to side until they finally get the one they want.
And here is Nowitzki following Paul Millsap's 3. And he hits it and gets hacked on the play. A three-point possibility if he can convert the free throw.
He got a great read of where that miss was going, and that allowed him to be the first guy to it and get the putback.
For the Wizards, Gorgie Dangs checked in for Howard. And Jones subbed in for Anderson. And a change for the Kings. Mutombo's checked in. For Washington, they've gotten 5 of 10 shots to drop in this game so far. Right at the 50% mark. Left side, Wilkins. Wilkins draws the double. Nash outside. Jones drives in. Here's Millsap. Another one falls for Washington.
He is just tearing it up this quarter. That lead's not going anywhere while he's this hot.
Well, last season, Greg, another year without playoff basketball in Sacramento. A shame to see some of the best fans in the NBA not be a part of the postseason.
That's a great point, Kevin. Now, 9 straight years where the Kings have failed to make the postseason. 29-win seasons aren't going to get you very far when you're battling in the West.
The Kings trailing. Monroe outside. He dishes it to Richmond. And all around the rim that time before dropping in.
You can't afford to get him that kind of a look.
Well, you know, he came off a good screen, but still, as a defender, you got to do a better job of fighting over and through that. Another nice bucket down low. They've really been able to work the ball into the post effectively so far.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see them operating a lot of their offense from the interior today.
Goran Dragic is checked in for Steve Nash. Powell, he's checked in for Sacramento. And let's quickly check out the scoring breakdown here for the Wizards.
And so far, these guys have done a fantastic job finding the opening man and getting some easy baskets.
They've established their presence in the paint tonight. Also, a lot of their scoring to this point coming from down low.
Millsap with the steal. To the left side wing. Here's Dragic. The shot, no good. Good work defensively by Monroe. The Kings trail by 3. Right side, Worthy. Down low. Nowitzki kicks to Mutombo. Here's Powell. Millsap covering. The shot by Powell, no good. Wizards have gone 7 of 13, just over 50% from the floor. Some good looks. Jones with it. Now Monroe defending. Jones drives in.
You can see he just rushed that a little bit. Lost the focus, I think.
And Monroe kicks to Nowitzki. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. Washington's offense last year looked solid on paper, but in reality, it was much tougher to defend against. They could hurt you in a number of ways.
And the Wizards, Kevin, could get you in transition, but they could also, as you mentioned, they could get you with their half-court sets. Top 10 in field goal percentage as well as three-point percentage last season.
And, you know, for the Wizards, it wasn't just how they scored, but who scored. I mean, they ended the season with all 5 starters averaging double-digit points, and that's a rarity.
Lee's checked in for Washington. Doug McDermott, he's checked in for Sacramento. Jack comes in for Monroe. And so he's able to get 1 of 2.
And thinking back to the Wizards having all of their starting 5 scoring in double digits last year, those are the kinds of teams that coaches hate to plan against. Any given night, one of them can step up and hurt you, and you just couldn't plan for where their points were going to come from.
Now here is Jack. After the miss from Goran Dragic. Mutombo sets a screen. And Jack, here we go. And once again off the mark by Sacramento. So for the Kings, they come in off the loss to the Raptors in Toronto.
Yeah, the inability to make threes in that game because they took a lot of them, I think, is why they ended up on the short end of the stick.
Yeah, they did take a bunch of them. Sometimes you can make up for poor three-point shooting with a strong inside game, but their inside game just wasn't strong enough.
The Wizards shooting their 4th and 5th shots at the foul line in the game.
And the season numbers for them at the line thus far are really poor. Something I'm sure they are making a point of emphasis.
And, you know, you don't have to tell them what their free throw numbers are. I mean, they're well aware of it, believe me.
Sacramento making a switch here. Payton's checked in. Good on the second free throw. The Kings trail by 3. Well, now we go to Doris Burke, who spoke with Randy Whitman. Doris?
Yes, Kevin. He told me that when you're playing against a team that can finish inside as efficiently as this team does, they don't want to allow any looks easily on the interior. He said if they can limit them in that department, they'll be in good shape.
Thank you, Doris. Outside Dragic. Pass to Dang. Tries from 16. The shot misses. Mutombo with some nice D. And now Sacramento on the break. The shot by Payton, no good. For Washington, they've gotten 7 of their first 16 field goal attempts to go down here in the first. Elkins with the ball. Now Jack defending. Lee goes in. Sacramento grabs the miss.
I tell you what, folks, I bet he won't miss that shot next time he takes it.
Dragic against Jack. Now in the scoring column with that deuce. 1 for 2 this game. Washington trailing. Dragic with it. He's been patient so far. Nothing yet on the scoreboard. Takes the 13-footer. And a big bounce off the rim, but it sinks right in. And the Wizards lead by 1. Sacramento's gone 0-4 from three-point land to start out. Looking cold from outside. Payton kicks to Jack. Pass to McDermott. It's tipped. Lee with the steal. In transition. Here come the Wizards.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case, it looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Yeah, I remember GA as an irritant. And this guy, much like Greg, creating havoc out there.
That was a nice replay brought to you by Kia. And that one's good.
Nice work on the inside. Hard to get that one up and over the big fella.
Well, it's not supposed to be easy down there. And a little artistry on the inside helped him make it happen.
The Kings were off to a hot start last year, but things certainly fell apart midway. A big factor in that was the messy firing of their coach, Mike Malone.
Yeah, really, that firing came out of nowhere to the fans and the players, and it seemed odd to fire a coach that has been leading his team to good basketball.
Let's take this chance to look at the teams that have been the league's most efficient passers this past month. In the third position, the Wizards.
And what stands out during this recent stretch is just how well they passed the basketball. I mean, this is a club that has become really unselfish.
Courtney Lee, he's checked in for Washington. We've got 1:28 left to play in the first. Doubled by Jack. Over in the corner, Lee. Outside Dragic. 5 to shoot. Lee dishes to Jones, and he gets it to go. Jones has got his first points in this one.
And, you know, we'll never really know the full details of why Malone was fired, but the effect it had on the team was easy to see. Kings really tailspinned out of control afterward.
Now here's Payton. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. Jack for 3. That'll go on McDermott. That is his first foul of the game. Wizards leading by 3. Lee outside. Dragic against Payton, and it's Dragic off the drive. It's stolen by Mutombo. We've got a 9-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Rockets against Payton. And the pass to McDermott. Kicks to Payton. Kings moving the ball around. Just 4 to shoot. Here's Powell. Excellent D that time from Jones. Right side, Lee. That's in, coming off an assist from Dragic. And it's a 5-point Wizards lead.
They have repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid dividends.
And with as many points as they've gotten in the paint, they haven't had to do much work on the perimeter.
And so the first quarter is in the books. Wizards lead by 5. Let's take a quick break now, and then it's on to the second quarter after this. And a chance now to talking about the confidence of his team. Greg, it's got to be more than just attitude, right? I mean, ultimately, don't you have to have guys step up and produce in some cases, or even overproduce?
You do, but really it is about attitude and confidence. I mean, those are the two elements that if you bring to the table, you really will have a chance to beat anyone. And so don't discount that attitude when you're on a roll. They call it getting your swag on today. Back in the day, it was called having your mojo working. Right. So same thing, and you can ride that for quite a ways.
Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Wizards?
It's been about the pace. You can see they're going to try to keep this game in the open floor.
Yeah, and it's been a tempo that they like, and they're getting some easy buckets in transition here.
And now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset our lineups. On the floor for Sacramento, we've got Monroe. Andre Drummond is out there with Nowitzki. Then there's Worthy. And it's Richmond in the shooting guard position.
Roof shots. Roof shots.
The free throw drops for Lee. Well, last season, the Wizards fell off just a bit in the second half of the year. Still, Greg, very competitive at home.
Yeah, and their strong play at home helped them weather that storm, Kevin. I mean, they ended up going 29-12 here at the Verizon Center.
And both free throws good for Lee.
And, that 29 wins mark at home for the Wizards, third best in the East. That team really likes shooting the ball here, as they were a top 5 three-point percentage team in this building.
Now here's Nowitzki. He's coming off a 28-point game against Toronto.
And how about the job he did rebounding as well, guys? I mean, just a dominant performance on the glass.
Washington leading now by 7.
And really the driving factor for why Washington was so good at home was their defense. I mean, they would finish with the best field goal percentage against in the entire league in their home building. You don't think of the Wizards as a lockdown team, but in the Verizon Center, that's exactly what they were.
And it's Drummond missing.
The defense ready for him on that possession. They had to be, because he is so strong in the paint.
Millsap sets the pick for Nash. Millsap left side. There it is. It's Nash picking up the assist. Nash has got his 5th assist in this one. The Kings trail by 9. They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin, the offense has basically been running in place.
They got to get going.
And really nothing like a good old-fashioned throwdown to get a team going.
And, Greg, they do need to get going. They wouldn't mind, shaving a couple more points off that lead right away.
Well, if the defense keeps giving up easy baskets like that, it won't be a lead for long.
Now, here's Nash. He's been patient so far. Nothing yet on the scoreboard. Anderson can't get it to go.
Even though he missed that one, great shooters have a way of feeling when they've got enough room to pull the trigger.
No doubt about it. The defense, you can see him exhaling right now. Fortunate that he didn't knock that one down.
Wizards making a switch here. Wilkins is checked in. Wizards leading by 7. Nash. Oh, and that one had the right spin on it, and it is good.
They ran that inbounds play perfectly there to get the quick hitter.
To the paint. Here's Nowitzki, and lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot two. Paul Millsap picks one up.
And I think it's fair to say last season was a bit of a transition year for the Kings. I mean, after firing Malone and the injuries to their stars, they just tried to build for the future, realizing that was going to be in their best interest.
And the Kings last year were able to get George Karl to lead the team. A good hire for them. This team did decent under him back in the last half of the season.
Yeah, they still got a lot of work to do, but he can certainly make it happen for him. One of the outstanding coaches in our league. The Kings actually were in it for a while last year, but then had a mini rebuild mid-season.
Both free throws good from Nowitzki. Last season at both sides of the coin for the Wizards. Started out very hot, but then just could not keep it going.
Well, you know, the start was extremely hot. 19-6, which tied a franchise best, that record. After that, though, they played close to 500 ball the rest of the time.
Howard can't hit. The Kings trail by 7. Monroe the pass to Richmond. Passes to Worthy. Shoots. And that one hits back iron.
And the Wizards really struggled post All-Star break, playing under 500. Still, though, they seem to pull things together at the very end and on into the postseason. What a passing display he has put on here tonight.
Yeah, he's spoiling us, Greg. I mean, there's just another fantastic dime drop right there. That one certainly should make the highlight reel. Well, there's no denying it. The Wizards had some bumps, and you mentioned that. Some weeks they look like a lottery team. Then the next, they look like a title contender. They knew how to make the most of their games when they did get hot, though.
Here is Richmond. 20 points for him last game against Toronto. The drive by Monroe. Here's Nowitzki. And count it. 2 points with a chance for one more at the free throw line.
And I like how he draws the attention on the inside, and then the nice little kick out in rhythm for the jumper.
Jang, he's checked in for Paul Millsap. The Kings have shot 4 of 7 as a team from the line tonight. Several misses early.
And the season numbers for them at the line thus far are really poor. Something I'm sure they are making a point of emphasis.
And, Kevin, it's something they've been working very hard to correct and to change. I mean, they know how important it is to fix that inability at the free throw line.
Howard setting the pick for Jang. Off the screen, and Nash with the lay-in. And the Wizards lead by 8.
Boy, guys, they've shown some great passing on their last few trips down the floor. Excellent.
4 straight passes leading to scores. Great team play.
Now here's Monroe. Worthy kicks to Nowitzki. Rebound, Washington. Howard's got his 3rd rebound on the night.
Solid rebound there, and with the score like it is, that's an area where they can't afford to get lazy.
Yeah, another column in the stat sheet that hasn't gone in their favor. To climb back, they've got to put forth more effort.
The Kings trail by 8. James Worthy on the wing. He's covered by Anderson. Here's Monroe. Good D by Howard.
And you saw how quick the defense was. They were ready for him. They got the hand in the face there and made that much more difficult.
Yeah, and every team needs that kind of rugged interior defense because you want to try to distract your opponents when they get inside, and you also want to make them uncomfortable in their shot attempts.
And out of bounds as the Wizards gain possession. Well, it's a big bonus when you get effective outside shooting from your big men like these guys over the past 10 games. Dirk Nowitzki, number 1. Number 3, Paul Millsap.
Now, you know, there was a time in the league when you wouldn't see a group of big guys like this, but the game has evolved. Versatility now is why we see so many bigs that can just flat out shoot it from anywhere.
And these guys are really incredible. I mean, on one trip, they give you points in the paint. On the next trip, they give you points behind the arc. Boy, talk about range and versatility in spades. You got it.
Good on the shot. And now it's a 12-point Wizards lead.
Make it 10 of their last 12 points coming off assists.
You have to love the ball movement.
And for Gorgui Dieng, an intelligent guy with strong physical attributes, gigantic arm span, but extremely raw skill-wise.
Yeah, his game still needs plenty of polish on both ends of the floor. But I really felt like he took a huge leap last season, and he has the intensity along with that work ethic to continue to grow.
Now, here is Monroe. Following the shot by Mitch Richmond. Stolen by Anderson. Now the feed to Dieng. Nice ball movement by Washington. It's deflected. Monroe against Nash. Now Monroe. Drummond with a screen on Nash. Monroe dishes to Drummond. It's stolen by Wilkins. And there's a nice one-handed slam.
Well, there you go. One team operating on all cylinders at either end, steals, fast break buckets, and the other team scrambling to find its game.
Great point. I mean, that aggression has allowed them to just create a lot of havoc, and boy, are they taking advantage.
Sacramento didn't have a free-flowing offense, and they wanted to get up and down, and it showed in their play transitioning from stagnant to free-flowing.
Jones checked in for Washington. The Kings also at the sub. Mutombo is checked in for Dirk Nowitzki. The Kings trail by 14. Drummond a screen. They need this one. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. Sacramento, a team that is likely to put it on the floor to attack. We saw that last year. Have no problem creating with player movement versus ball movement, which is something which is a nice way to kind of begin the transition.
It is. And, Kevin, they were dead last in the league in terms of catch-and-shoot field goal attempts. Also near the bottom in catch-and-shoot field goal percentage. So they might have been justified in that.
And he can't get the second one to drop either. Coming up empty that time. You look at Gorgui Dieng and his development in the league out of Louisville. What a big jump for him last season.
And that's a great point. That first year, you could tell the game was a little too fast, and he was a bit overwhelmed, but started to get more and more minutes throughout the season and really blossomed with the extra opportunity.
Richmond no good. Wizards leading by 14. Nash with it. Now Monroe defending. Dieng a screen. Nash kicks to Wilkins. And stolen by Worthy. Here's Monroe. Finished off the break.
And I like how he puts himself in position there to finish on the break.
Yeah, you know, that's what we call seeing and feeling the game. Excellent read of how that play was going to develop and where the ball was going. That's stuff that you oftentimes can't teach, Greg.
Richmond with the bucket.
Guys, he's actually indefatigable. He never gives in, never gives up on a play, and that's what it takes to be a great offensive rebounder. You've got to be relentless. And Dieng last season doubled his points per game, got enough rebounds where he could be a double-double player every night in the near future.
Almost uncontested. I mean, it's nice to be able to add to the lead without having to really work for it.
And Monroe kicks it over to Worthy. Back to Monroe. Drummond a screen. The drive by Monroe. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
And Dieng isn't a young player by any means, but he has learned how to fill a niche on a team quickly. Just offers good numbers and intangibles in a lot of places on the stat sheet.
And guys, Andre Drummond has made quite an impression in the early stages of his career. Clark, you were just talking about that. Greg, I don't think anyone felt he would have such an impact this fast.
Yeah, I mean, he's already a mountain of a man among boys. I mean, it's hard to believe when you look at this guy out there. He's only 22 years old.
Looking at who's out there now for the Wizards. Lee comes in for Dwight Howard. And it's Dragic in for Steve Nash. And both free throws good for Drummond.
Going back to Andre Drummond, some say there aren't any true centers entering the NBA these days. But I look at Andre, I look at DeMarcus Cousins, Joel Embiid, Karl Anthony Towns, and I think to myself, what are these people talking about? The defense needs to play tight on him, and that's exactly what they did to force that miss. Well done.
Shaq with it, now guarded by Dragic. Floats one up. It's good, and the Washington lead is cut down to just 8 points with the bucket from Jack.
And talking about Andre Drummond, I remember when he fell to number 9 on draft day. All sorts of experts were making excuses as to why. But even then, there was this eerie feeling that some teams had made a huge mistake in passing on him. And that feeling turned out to be correct.
He sniffed out that board and then powered it back in.
Pure Mike Clark, so strong, going back up with that one.
Playing to his strength, too, guys. That's what he's capable of. A really strong second quarter in terms of scoring the basketball.
We've seen him miss a couple from the line so far, going 2 for 4.
2 shots.
Okay, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
That free throw, no good. Wizards making a switch here. Lee's checked in. No good on the second free throw. Wizards leading by 8. Outside Dragic. Back to Lee. There's the dish to Dragic. 5 on the clock. Jang with the screen for Dragic. Here's Lee. It's Drummond with the rebound. Drummond's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Powell kicks to Drummond. Lee with the block. Now here's Dragic. Looking at his numbers, he's averaging about 6.5 points a game. And there's the basket. Whistle blows and a chance for a 3-point play. Going to the line for 1.
That's his first foul. Second team foul.
Paul Millsap is checked in for Jang. And a change for the Kings. Elfrid Payton, he's checked in for Drummond. For Washington, they have shot 6 of 7 at the line. The free throw drops for Lee. One thing about David Lee, he's a proven scorer and rebounder. Clark, health, though, has been a concern.
It has been very durable early in his career, Kevin, but of late we've seen hamstring issues, back issues, and torn hip flexors, and that's taken a toll on him for sure.
Doug McDermott.
Wizards leading by 9. Dragic the pass to Lee. Outside Millsap. He feeds it to Dragic. Millsap a screen on Jack. Dragic dishes to Millsap. And that's good. And it's Dragic with the assist. Dragic has got his 3rd assist on the night. The Kings trail by 11. And here is Jack. 8 points for him. Payton outside. Puts up a 3. Here's Mutombo. No good. Good D by Lee. Washington's gone 0-2 from deep here in the second. Outside Dragic. .124 left to play here in the half. 6 on the shot clock. Outside for Millsap. All alone. Can't get it to go. So the Kings will take it the other way. This their first look at this year's Washington squad.
Yeah, a quick 2-game series between the two teams, one in each club's home building.
Well, looky here. We've got an interconference matchup. Always interesting to see how 2 teams match up that don't get a chance to see a whole lot of one another.
That's his first.
And it was a very public falling out between Goran Dragic and the Suns front office. That was a real tense few weeks there before ultimately he was traded.
And, of course, Dragic was traded to Miami last season, said he felt betrayed by the Suns front office, which spurred him wanting out of Phoenix and to South Florida.
Yeah, you know what? We'll never know the whole truth about that situation, but Dragic said they told him one thing with personnel and did something else.
And Washington making a change here. Howard's checked in. He hits the second from the line. And one of Goran Dragic's greatest traits, Greg, excelling in the open court. High energy point guard, a lot like you, speed to burn, very smart guy, coveted by many.
He really is. And Kevin, he transitions from defense to offense as quickly as anyone in the league, a la Tony Parker, except he's also equally adept at facilitating for others and spotting up for the three, or just taking it to the rack himself.
So it's Sacramento now, following the bucket by the Wizards. Dragic against Payton. He kicks it to Mutombo. Washington with the rebound. Howard's got his 5th rebound right now in the game.
It's a +5 advantage for them in the rebounding category after that board.
They're very steady with their work on the interior. Really a well-rounded effort overall.
Kicks it out to Jones. Second chance shot. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact and he'll shoot 2.
That's his second personal foul. 4th team foul.
The Wizards have made their free throws at a pretty good clip. They've hit 8 of 10.
2 shots.
The first free throw is good. So he hits 1 of 2 from the stripe. And the first half is now in the books. It's the Wizards up by 15. And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Well, David, obviously a very strong first half. What's been the philosophy of this team and how you mentally set your focus as a group to come out and play your best basketball?
We just need to keep being consistent, and we're a team that's going to stay humble. That's not an issue with us. We're trying to play defense, rebound the basketball, and then just share the ball in offensive way as a team.
David, it's been a complete change in culture. Thank you for your time. Over to you guys.
Thank you, Doris. And folks, don't go away after the break. We'll see you right back here for the start of the second half in the third quarter.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. We're going to break down the first half action for you. It was all Paul Millsap in the first quarter. He ended up with 15 points, 2 steals, and 4 rebounds. And let's get your thoughts, Kenny, on the Wizards. Shaq, what's your take on Sacramento?
Ernie, they are way too weak defensively in the paint. They're getting walked over down low, giving up a ton of points. Barbecue chicken everywhere, with the sauce, without the sauce. We're having a Thanksgiving feast in here. That's a recipe for disaster. They cannot keep letting guys drive the lane, layups, lobs. Defense is weak, Ernie.
And that's going to do it for now as the second half is almost ready to get started. Back to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K Sports crew. We're going to sit right here and wait for the end of the game and talk at you again.
Welcome back, everyone, to the start of the second half. Big margin on our hands, but we'll see if that gap narrows down in the third and fourth quarters. You know, Paul Millsap has been exceptional here, guys.
Yeah, created a lot of quality shots for himself in that first half, and he knew when to pass it up when the double team came.
And that led to a very high points per shot number for him. For those of you that are into analytics, that stat really tells how efficient a player has been, and he's been very efficient so far.
Paul Millsap out there with Howard. Then there's Anderson. Then it's Nash. And it's Wilkins in at the small forward position. That's the group on the floor right now for Washington.
I mean, he was great in his last game, Clark, and clearly he has not lost that love and feel.
Tacks a few more points onto their lead with the tomahawk.
That's bringing it down hard, Clark.
Yes,
bringing it down hard,
yes,
my brother.
Yes, sir.
Symbolic there as well of the effort here tonight.
The drive by Monroe. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
That's his second personal foul.
This is his first free throw of the game.
Earl Monroe taking 2 shots.
That free throw missing. And he's good on the second. Wizards leading by 14. Anderson with the ball. Dishes it to Nash. From downtown. Rebound Andre Drummond. Drummond's got 4 rebounds now tonight. Well, looking at the Wizards, they weren't as lauded as other teams last season, but the Wizards were a ferocious group on defense. Numbers support that. Their activity, Greg, could really bother teams.
Yeah, I mean, on the surface, oftentimes people look at them and think offense, but it really was, to your point, Kevin, the defense was the strength of that group. I mean, they do get out in transition, but it was the defense, I thought, that really allowed them to become elite.
Richmond outside. Over a minute and a half into the third quarter of action. And Monroe kicks to Drummond. Boom, he jams it straight down.
Now that's finishing your work right there.
Powerful two-hand jam, you're right.
And I tell you what, if he's got a few more of those in him, this lead will start shrinking even further.
And you mentioned the Wizards and their defense last year. They had the second best field goal percentage defense in the league. The only team that was better, the NBA champs, Golden State.
And that's sort of been the story here today, hasn't it?
The Kings trail by 15, and it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Monroe.
Well, that's inexcusable to throw a pass that far off the mark.
Wizards have gone 3 of 5 to start the second half, developing a nice rhythm out there.
And guys, more on that Wizards defense last year. They clogged up the middle well. Third best in the league in points in the paint allowed. They also were great at stopping fast break points. Top 10 in the league in that regard.
What a terrific feed by Nash.
And for the Kings, they're shooting 43% from the field.
Sacramento calls for it.
Let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Hey, guys. Well, George Karl had some advice for the team in that last huddle. There was one thing he stressed above everything else, and that was getting the ball into the low post. That is where their points can and should be coming from in his mind. Another part of what he said to them centered on his desire to see them shooting the ball every opportunity that presents itself. He said, fire away, guys. You've got the green light. Clearly, some adjustments there had to be made because the time left for a comeback is quickly running out. Kevin, over to you.
Thank you, Doris.
And still perfect in the second half. 4 straight makes.
Wizards timeout call. Ladies and gentlemen, Bryson Center, give it up for your Wizard Girls.
And here is our 2K leaderboard. These teams have been on fire over the course of the past 10 games. In fourth, the Wizards.
You have to be impressed with their shot selection. I mean, the discipline on that end and the unselfishness really is what allows those great numbers to show up.
Clock keeps going. 3 minutes into the second half now. Millsap passes to Nash.
King's foul call. Earl Monroe. That's his first personal foul.
On defense, Sacramento. They trail by 14. 6 on the shot clock.
Even though he isn't having the best of games from the floor, it hasn't seemed to hurt him.
Monroe against Wilkins. Millsap with the steal. Little under 2.5 minutes off the clock now here in the third. Millsap a screen. And Anderson kicks to Wilkins. Feeds it to Nash. Outside Millsap. Sacramento grabs the miss. Worthy's got 4 rebounds now tonight. Monroe outside. To the inside. That one's good, and the Wizards' lead is cut down to just 12 points on the bucket from Dirk Nowitzki.
And he's really shot the ball well, but it hasn't been contagious.
Nash dishes to Millsap. There it is. It's Nash picking up the assist. 20 points for Paul Millsap.
And he had one in the first as well. He can be dangerous. Keep an eye on him.
Monroe against Nash. Nowitzki sets a screen for Monroe. An easy layup after coming off the pick. Monroe's got 7 points in the game.
Great job of screening there. Nice job to take it to the rim and get the finish.
Howard, the pass to Millsap.
And Paul Millsap, guys, the only player to lead the NCAA in rebounding 3 straight seasons back in college. A former second-round pick. Was kind of slept on, but now clearly making his mark in the NBA.
At the line for your Wizards, Paul Millsap. Taking 2 shots.
First one falls for him.
What a performance from Millsap here. He's got 21 points, and the steals are starting to pile up for him also.
And Clark, he's really gotten into their heads because of it. I mean, guys are on the lookout for him, always worrying about where he is.
Jang, he's checked in for Dwight Howard. And so he hits both.
Well, we all know that #1 overall picks are incredibly valuable. I mean, they can change the course and face of an entire franchise. Last season, the playoffs were full of teams that featured #1 overall picks.
And the shot is good from Nowitzki.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Well, I agree with you. 4 of their last 5 baskets have been exactly of that variety.
Man, can you always depend on him or what to lead you to the right place with that pass? Money.
And guys, teams with the #1 overall pick tend to go very deep in the playoffs. Just the nature of how the NBA lottery and rebuilding structure works.
Yeah, and in the playoffs last season, every team in the conference semis but one had a #1 overall pick on their roster. So that one team was the Grizzlies.
Nash, here's Millsap. Richmond with the rebound.
Good little 2-man action there, but they just can't get the shot to fall.
Yeah, but that was a beauty. Good-looking shot, well-executed play. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go back to it.
Now here's Worthy. And Drummond kicks to Richmond. Here's Drummond. Rejected by Millsap. And they get it back.
That's his 4th personal foul. At the line for the Wizards, Dirk Nowitzki. At the line for 2.
The free throw drops for Dirk Nowitzki.
Nowitzki playing very well. He has 17 points and some of his offense coming at the foul line with 5 points there.
Clark, 5 pretty big points indeed.
And good on the second, so he makes them both. Wizards leading by 11. To the inside. Here's Dang, and he drops in the layup off the glass. Zhang's got his second bucket.
Outstanding entry pass there. He knew exactly where to go with the ball.
Monroe against Nash. Monroe dishes to Nowitzki. Can he keep it going? Nowitzki can't get that one to fall. Zhang, no luck. The Kings trail by 13. And Monroe kicks to Drummond. He dishes it to Worthy. Pass to Monroe. The feed to Drummond. Shot clock at 6. Puts up the baby hook. Rebound by the Wizards. 17 points was their biggest margin.
You know, he just hasn't looked right to me. A bit out of sorts, if you will. Something's off with his mechanics, at least as I look at it.
And it is flushed down with a nice jam.
Now, that was an incredible reverse throwdown right there. Tremendous body control.
I'd even go as far to say, Clark, that was a punctuation dunk. Huh?
I can feel that.
Sending a message.
How about, guys, that's one of those dunks that you probably want in your career highlight reel. And that's some inspiration. Steals, blocks, and a big dunk. Those are ways that you can really change the momentum in a game.
Well, they got to chip away, Clark, at that deficit, and no doubt that'll help.
And that's what he's out there for, guys. I mean, he is an electrifying player, no doubt.
Here's Wilkins. The Kings getting the bucket. Here's Dang. Worthy pulls it in. Worthy's got 5 rebounds tonight. Here's Monroe. He's got 9. Pass to Nowitzki. Rebounded by the Wizards. Zhang's got his 7th rebound of the game with that last one. And it's Nash in the corner. Millsap in the corner. Fires the 3. There it is. It's Nash picking up the assist. 27 points for Millsap. Well, the main problem last year for the Kings, Greg, their defense. Just couldn't slow teams down on their end of the court, and it cost them.
Yeah, listen, a lot of it had to do with the defensive problems overall. They were pretty much in the bottom 10 of every major defensive category and dead last in blocks as well.
And you said it. I mean, the Kings had a tough time on defense. They also gave up the most fast break points in the league. I mean, they had a tough time getting back and defending in transition.
And the Kings were last in fast break points allowed. As you mentioned, what is odd was that there were rumors last season that the front office wanted to try out cherry picking on purpose. Pretty sure that's one of the worst ideas to try out in the NBA.
Here's what Washington's going with right now. Jones checked in for Anderson, and it's Dragic in for Nash.
The story in the first half was their low free throw percentage. They've corrected that here in the second half, and hopefully they can build on it as this game continues to progress.
They are just killing them on the interior.
Yeah, you can't say that with enough emphasis. I mean, the defenders are just not being aggressive enough down low. You got to play with some physicality in the paint.
Courtney Lee, he's checked in for the Wizards. And a moment here to take a look at the scoring breakdown for the Wizards.
Guys, their play close to the hoop has been great all game.
And I also love the way they move the basketball. Their passing has been outstanding here in the second half.
Now here's Payton. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard. Nowitzki with the screen on Jones. Powell the pass to Nowitzki. Great use of the pick to create room for the jumper.
He's really stepped it up this quarter. Looks like he's determined to get them out of this hole all by himself.
And it's slammed in by Millsap.
Boy, I really love the way Dragic spreads that ball around.
The Kings trail by 17. Payton with the ball. Now guarded by Dragic. Nowitzki a screen. Nowitzki with the screen on Dragic. Payton kicks to McDermott from outside the arc. That's in, coming off an assist from Payton. And it's 7 points for Doug McDermott.
You know, the defense has got to do a much better job of fighting over those screens.
And, Greg, especially when the ball is in his hands. I mean, come on now. You know he doesn't miss too many open looks like that.
Now here's Jones. He averages more than 12 points a game. That's some dependable production.
You know, that part of the floor, guys, is more or less his real sweet spot, right in his wheelhouse.
Payton against Dragic. Payton kicks to Powell. Rebound by Dang. Jang's got 8 rebounds in this game. Outside, Jones. A minute 50 left to play here in the third. No good from Lee.
Rare you'll see him miss such an open look.
The pass to Payton. Kicks it to Powell. Passes it to Nowitzki. Rebounded by the Wizards. Next up on the schedule, the Grizzlies. That'll be a home game. That'll be the last of 3 straight at home for the team. Jones, no one around him. And Washington again with the bucket.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today, ending with a basket coming off a pretty pass?
Well, when you look at the assist totals, heck, they've been clearly the better team.
Now here's Payton. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. And now in transition is Lee. Here we go. No good from Dragic. The Kings trail by 18. Mutombo is screen on Lee. Payton dishes to Mutombo. Shot is off. And it's Washington the other way. Lee kicks to Zhang. Feeds it to Millsap. Lee outside. Now the dish to Dragic. Near the three-point line, it's Millsap. Rebounded by McDermott. McDermott's got his 3rd rebound tonight. He feeds it to Payton. Nowitzki a screen. Dragic against Payton. He kicks it to McDermott. Nowitzki, the pass to Powell. Nowitzki a screen. With the floater, Powell, that's good.
Now there's something for the top 10 highlight reel right there. A layup can be just as sweet and as pretty as a dunk sometimes.
And as we end the third quarter, a double-digit deficit will make it tough to come back. Wizards lead by 16. And when we return, we'll get the fourth quarter rolling right here on 2K Sports. Thanks again for joining us. Let's see what happens here in the fourth. Here's Jones. On the court right now for the Kings, we've got Worthy. Jarrett Jack is out there with Richmond. Then there's Andre Drummond, and it's Mutombo in at the 4 slot. Jack with it, now guarded by Dragic. Jack dishes to Worthy. Can't get it to go. Good D by Jones. Jack against Dragic. Dishes to Millsap. And that's good. And it's Dragic with the assist. 35 points for Paul Millsap.
What a top-notch game he's having. He's gotten them in front, and it sure seemed like he's going to keep them there. All by himself, it looks like.
It's Drummond, high post. Working on Howard. The feed to Richmond. Just 4 to shoot. Sacramento needs to get off a shot. Another miss by Worthy.
You know what? He's just stone cold right now. Really not sure if he's their best option offensively as they try to get back in this game.
Great job to hit his teammate on that move, Kevin.
Anderson, he's checked in for Washington. Nash comes in for Goran Dragic.
And last year, the Wizards at time played excellent team basketball. I mean, seems like every time a shot went in, it was coming off a pass to find the open man.
Now here is Jack. Richmond outside. Back to Jack. To the paint. Here's Worthy. And down it goes. dunked through off a wonderful assist.
The one-hand slam is so sweet when it's his hand doing the slam.
Oh, yeah, he is so smooth, even on a power finish like that.
And really, that's what makes him unique, that combination of power and polish.
Oh!
Showcasing his skills with that slam.
He knows how to put the exclamation point on those, doesn't he? Man, oh, man.
Does he ever?
And that replay sponsored by Kia, the Kia Slam Cam, giving us a great look at that one. Mutombo kicks to Jack. Count the bucket, coming off a perfectly placed assist.
Terrific effort on that shot. I mean, he's given up a lot of inches in that mismatch.
Well, height, who cares about height? I mean, it's just a number. Hey, you got to go with what you got. And he took what he had right at him there.
Deep two from Anderson. Will not go. This is off the front iron. The Kings trail by 20. Outside Jack.
Well, you know, one season in the books with the NBA's new replay center, and so far, so good. I mean, the replays are averaging about 45 seconds apiece, and getting the officials the angles they need quickly to make the right call.
Tell you what, coaches love to see that kind of hustle, guys. I mean, getting after it on the offensive board, that's always a winning play.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The hustle's great, guys, but I think we all prefer to see the finish when you can go up and throw it down like that.
And it's slammed in by Howard.
What terrific hustle. He's got a nose for those rebounds.
Clark, he's ferocious when that ball goes up.
Well, guys, that is what they pay him for. That's his job. That's his role.
Mutombo against Millsap. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot two. And with the new replay center, the league also going for more transparency. People expect it now, Clark, and they're officiating.
Yeah, and I don't mind that. Evaluating the most scrutinized calls and non-calls of the games in those last 2 minutes, that's a positive. Things are continuing to change, I think, for the better in that regard.
The free throw drops for Mutombo. Monroe's checked in for the Kings. And so Mutombo nails both of them. Wizards leading by 18. A bit under 3.5 minutes have passed here in the fourth.
Can you believe the job they're doing at the foul line since halftime? I mean, they've been perfect so far.
Yeah, as cool as can be, Clark. Great focus and efficiency. That's how they built this lead.
At the line for your Wizards, Paul Millsap. 2 shots.
And the first one at the line is good. So he gets them both.
You know, another point of contention between every NBA fan is whether or not the age restriction is a good thing. Some want it increased, others want it gone altogether. You know, for me, it's a matter of whether or not you as a team feel that player can make an impact on your roster.
Dwight Howard. That's his first personal foul.
Checking out the game Andre Drummond is having. 8 rebounds, and he's also got 1 block to add to the mix today.
Yeah, and that's just a small part of what we've seen, but it's been a solid contribution defensively.
You can see the leadership qualities on display right there, guys.
You know, he's their coach on the floor. There's no doubt about that. A great communicator, a great teammate, and as you mentioned, Kevin, a tremendous leader.
And so it looks like Washington will retain possession here.
Well, close to picking that one off.
Still a nice play to make sure that pass didn't reach its target.
Here's Nash. Down low, here's Millsap. Good D by Drummond.
Now that's terrific defense at the rim. Got right in his path.
And you know they'll be conscious of him next time they take it inside, too. I mean, that's what really good defenders do. They make you think about their presence.
5 on the clock. Here's Richmond. The putback, and Drummond throws it down.
That is a fantastic job to stay with the play and never give up. Great effort. Excellent effort.
Screen by Howard. Anderson passes to Nash. Millsap a screen on Monroe. And Nash, here we go. And here's Anderson for 3. It's Drummond with the rebound. The Kings trail by 16. Monroe with it, guarded now by Nash. Back to Monroe. He dishes it to Drummond. Pass to Monroe. And good, and it takes a nice bounce off the right iron and down. That gives him a double-double in this one. 11 points and 10 assists. Nash dishes to Wilkins. Pass to Howard. Shot from the low block. That's good. And the Wizards lead by 16.
He shot the ball exceptionally well as they've built this lead for themselves here.
Monroe against Nash. They set the pick. Richmond outside. Sacramento gets it back.
There's another opportunity, and everything's going right for these guys.
There's Nash with the 3, and it's Sacramento with the rebound. Mutombo's got 6 rebounds here tonight. Monroe with it, and it's Howard picking him up. No one near him. They get it again. Drummond off with the layup. Wizards leading by 16. Wilkins kicks to Millsap, and it's sent back by Mutombo. It's Wilkins with the drive, and he gets it to go. Wilkins has got 23. The Kings have gone 6 of 13, so just above 46% on their field goal attempts here in the quarter. Nash against Monroe. There's the pass to Richmond. Just 5 on the clock. Stolen by Anderson. And here we go, the Wizards fast break. Nash with the ball.
It doesn't really matter who starts the break with how he runs the floor. He seems to always be the one who finishes.
Yeah, he is so fun to watch and how he attacks the rim at full speed like that, man. It's something to behold the way that guy gets to the rim.
Worthy's shot is good.
James Worthy. Assist goes to
Now Nash. Millsap sets the pick for Nash. To the wing on the left. The 3 from Anderson. Mutombo grabs the board. Mutombo's got his 7th rebound here tonight. And Monroe kicks to Drummond. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
Looking at the game for Wilkins, he has 23 points, and he's added a steal to his stat line also.
You know what? The number is not huge, but he has been doing some valuable defensive work for them.
Okay, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
He misses the free throw. Dirk Nowitzki, he's checked in for Mutombo. And he sinks the second.
As a team, they're hovering around 86 to 87% from the line. That's exactly what you want to see. I mean, converting at that rate, that'll win you a lot of games.
The drive by Monroe. That's good. Monroe's got 4 points in the quarter.
You know, the teardrop sometimes is one of those, oh no, oh yeah shots.
It's Wilkins on the wing. Nash against Monroe. Here's Millsap. Lands soft on the front of the rim and drops. Millsap's got 39. And here are the Kings now. 19-point game. Following this game, they'll hit the road to challenge the Pacers at Pacers Arena in Indianapolis. And that will conclude a 4-game road trip. Monroe, no good. Washington has gotten just 1 of 4 3-pointers to go down for them here in the fourth. Howard with this screen on Monroe. Poked away. Kicks it to Richmond. The fadeaway. That's good. Richmond's got 9 points here in the second half. Wizards leading by 17.
Timeout is charged for Washington. Get ready for your Wizard Girls.
They set the pick. Nash kicks to Millsap. To the middle. And Wilkins with the stuff.
A one-man show offensively, and that's almost always good news for his team.
On the wing, Richmond. Fader on the way. Again, Richmond missing. The Wizards shooting an outstanding 53% for the game. Anderson passes to Nash. Down low, here's Millsap, and he makes it look easy, dunking it hard with one hand.
You know, there are a lot of bigger power forwards than him in the NBA, but very few that rise up like he can.
Nowitzki a screen. Passes it to Monroe. Inside, outside for Richmond. 4 on the shot clock. Step back shot. And the shot falls short this time.
No other way to put it. Just a rough quarter in terms of scoring. He has not been helping at all.
Screen by Howard. Nash drawing the double team. Anderson dishes to Millsap. And Washington again with the bucket.
No hesitation. When he saw the space the D was giving him, that's 2.
Monroe outside. Nowitzki with the screen on Nash. The drive by Monroe. Here's Nowitzki. Great touch on the 16-footer. Nowitzki's got 14 points here in the second half.
And a big height advantage right there.
You know, it's tough to bring a big man that far away from the goal, but that might be a mismatch they're willing to live with.
Here's Wilkins. Sacramento grabs the miss. Drummond's got rebound number 12 here already in the game.
Yes, and with this one winding down, it's obvious to everyone who watched it. Just a total mismatch and a true show of strength for the Wizards.
But Steve, you know, you don't see this kind of a blowout often. But tonight, this is a quality win across the board to deliver out Clark this kind of punishment.
Well, you know what? I thought they did a nice job of playing against the game. They kept the pressure on and clearly were dominant in every area.
And you can mark this one down in the W column. It'll mark their 23rd of the season.
And in a 2-game season series, you love taking charge of game 1. That's obvious, and exactly what they're doing here tonight against the Kings.
A fantastic show. And what an amazing all-around game it was for Paul Millsap. He affected the game so much with the way he was able to come out and get steals and extra possessions for his team.
And Drummond kicks to Richmond. 3-pointer. Again, Richmond missing, but they get it back. to the middle. Here's Drummond. There's the killer two-handed slam.
Flush that thing down, young fella.
That is a fierce two-hander.
Maximum force on that dunk.
Nash outside. And so it's Washington easily grabbing this one. It was a tale of two teams tonight, one that was in total control, operating flawlessly, and Clark the other just searching for answers that they could never find.
Well, I think these fans, too, Kevin, gave their team a tremendous lift. I mean, they never gave up on them. From the opening tip until the end of the game, they were in it. And that certainly helped this crew get to the W.
And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Guys, I'm here with Goran Dragic, and what's been the key to your success tonight and in general for the team of late?
In the last two games, everybody is playing for each other. You know, we're sharing the ball, we are active in defense, and we run. I think so. Last two games, that was the key. Everybody was involved, everybody was shooting the ball well, and here's the result.
Sharing is contagious. Goran, thanks for your time. Guys, back to you.
All right, Doris, thank you. Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. This is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for tuning in. Now it's time to head back to the studio with Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kenny Smith.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Welcome back, everybody. Ernie Johnson here along with Shaq and the Jet as we present our Jordan Player of the Game, Paul Millsap. He came out of the locker room at halftime and was immediately on fire. That third quarter was his, and he did not hesitate to exert his will. Let's get your opinion, Kenny.
You gotta love Paul Millsap showing us all of what he's capable of. He's tough to guard. He's got a tremendous combination of an inside and an outside game. He can really do it all. He'll get you points at the rim, and he can knock down a mid-range jump shot, whatever it takes.
He had a sensational night shooting the ball. Over 60% reminds me of myself. If you're shooting over 60%, you're playing smart. You're being aggressive, and you're creating opportunities. What a spectacular performance.
And that'll do it for this edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. Hope you enjoyed the show. From myself, Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin Harlan, and the entire 2K Sports crew, have a wonderful evening.